What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the full Season 2 patch notes, with the exception of not the attachment changes, because there's literally like 500 rows of attachment changes. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to make an actual web page on TrueTechData that lists all the changes, what the stat used to be and what it is now, and that'll make it a lot more clear because their patch notes are worded very confusingly. Like, a lot of it's just really confusing to talk about. But real quickly before we get into this, I just wanted to talk about my other channel for a second, TrueTechData. I just released a video this morning about this beast that I just purchased. This is a 55-inch 8K TV that I use for my productivity setup. So I just released a review for that, and just want to let you guys know I released that. If you're not interested, that's completely fine, but I'll link it down below so you guys can go check it out if you want. But yeah, let's get into the Season 2 patch notes. It's going to be a pretty quick video, just going to cover all the important things that I noticed and the weapon changes and overall how I feel about Season 2. But let's jump into it. All right, so instead of actually going through the ravensoftware.com patch notes, I'm going to go through my version, the patch notes that I made for this video, specifically because there's so much to read there. I just pulled out the important things so I can just make a video about it. So first up, we get 2 new weapons. These are part of the battle pass. They're free. You don't have to buy the battle pass to get them. The KG M40 AR and the Whitley LMG. We'll have to see how those feel. Obviously, I haven't played with them at all. I know they were good in Vanguard, but that does not mean they're going to be good in Warzone because they completely have different recoil, different stats, everything. So you can't really make a judgment from Vanguard. So I'll check those out, obviously, the next day or two and get videos up on them. AI enemies defending a point of interest with good loot. So throughout the map, there's armored vehicles now that drive around. And if you blow those up, you'll get a bunch of really good loot. And they are defended by AI, so that could be kind of annoying, but also, I mean, it could be interesting. We'll see. We'll just have to see how they actually implemented that to see if it's any good. We're actually getting Rebirth Iron Trials, so that's pretty exciting. That's something we've never had before. That'll be fun to try out. This did some changes to the regular BR mode, and then also a bunch of changes to the Vanguard BR mode. They said they want to kind of try to distinguish the modes a little bit more by changing some things that make them more unique between each other. So regular BR changes, events rotate now again, and there's no event at the start of the match. So in the past, we always had like a cash drop or a weapon drop right at the start of the match, and they've removed that from regular BR now. So we just have these 3 rotating events: supply chopper, fire sale, and jailbreak. And it looked like, unless it was a mistake in the patch notes, it looks like they've removed big game bounty from regular BR. So I don't know, I liked big game bounties, but they're still in Vanguard BR. So the Vanguard BR changes, we got loadout drop at the start of the first circle closing instead of the end of the first circle closing. So that's going to be like, I think it's like 3 minutes difference, 3 or 4 minutes. Pretty significant change there. That's going to be a really early loadout drop in Vanguard BR. So we'll see how that plays out. I think people are going to like that change a lot. They've actually removed stuns completely from Vanguard BR, which is awesome because everybody hates stuns. They added thermites. Fire sales have a shorter duration. We get the same events, so jailbreak, resurgence, restock, etc. They actually removed Deady from Vanguard BR, so again, that's another reason that people are going to want to play Vanguard BR more. UAVs were removed from the buy station, so this is a pretty huge change, especially for kill chasers. You can only get them from ground loot, out of boxes and things like that, or from contract rewards. So that's kind of a bummer for kill chasers, but it'll make ghost less important, so we might get some more perk balancing there. Might see more restock and more high alert, things like that, rather than, you know, the vast majority of people running ghost. So some general changes to the game. They increased the weapon XP rates. Finally, we've been asking for this forever. We finally got that change. Vanguard custom loadouts, which means you can save your custom build for your weapon. For the Vanguard guns, that's been crazy annoying because Vanguard guns have 10 attachments, so like not being able to save those was actually a really big deal for those guns specifically because they take a long time to rebuild. We also get redeploy balloons. I've talked about this before. So this is basically a zip line attached to a balloon. You can zip up, you know, 100 meters or so, and then it'll like launch you out, and you can pull your chute and fly for another, you know, 100, 200 meters. So that's going to actually be really nice for Caldera with rotations and things like that. That'll be great. It basically works the same as like the Apex balloons or anything like that. And it's just going to be a nice feature to have. We now have bomber planes. We'll see how this plays out. I don't know what these are going to be like. Hopefully they're not ridiculously OP. It looked like overall they actually kind of nerfed the planes and actually increased the damage done by the anti-air guns. So that's really nice. I think Anti-air guns already really took planes down really fast. People just didn't use them for some reason. So I don't think planes are going to be that much of an issue anymore after these changes. Dedi is now extremely rare. So in the game modes where it is, so regular BR, there's still Dedis, but they made it a gold loot item, so it's going to be extremely rare. And it's completely removed from Vanguard BR, like I said. They finally nerfed aim assist to a stun player. So when you stunned someone before, for some reason aim assist allowed them to still track you really well. Whereas on mouse and key, you literally just, if you got stunned, you were just dead. So they did this to try to balance it more with mouse and key players. It sounded like it was almost like unintentional, kind of like a bug that they had before, but they fixed that now. Another big change, armor plates now fill an empty slot. So in the past, if you had 10 damage done to one of your plates, it would replace that plate rather than replacing a full empty slot. Huge quality of life improvement here. That's going to be, we've been asking for that for 23 months and we finally got it. Gulag spectator footstep audio was reduced. This is huge. You can't hear anything in this gulag because of the footsteps of the people that are above you. So this is a massive change. This will be really, really nice to, improve strategic play in this gulag. They say they improved mantling across the board. I'll have to just play and see what this feels like, but that's going to be just a nice quality of life improvement. Fighter planes nerfed, like I said, anti-air guns buffed. Vanguard vehicles have had their handling improved, and if you've played Vanguard Royale, you know how bad the vehicles felt. So this is a really nice change. I don't know why they were so bad to begin with. So general weapon changes, I'm not going to go through the 500 attachment changes, but I am going to talk about the general trends of things. And then like I said, I'm going to make a separate page on TrueTechData where you can come see all the attachment changes they just made in this patch and get a better idea of like what you should be running in the meantime while I'm getting TGD updated. So general weapon changes, the DP got a stomach damage nerf. The Bren got an upper arm. So before, the Bren had the chest multiplier on the upper arm, which made it kind of like a huge chest hitbox. So that has now been nerfed, as well as the stomach damage. The 3-line had its ADS nerfed, but it had a bunch of other stats buffed. So I think overall it might be a buff for the 3-line. R98 ADS speed, the way they worded it in the patch notes was confusing. But at the very end, they clarified and said that overall it was an ADS speed buff, which means you should ADS faster once you get all the attachments on there. They just kind of shifted around like the way the attachments worked. So before, a lot of the stats came from like one attachment, and now they've kind of spread that out across different attachments, which is good. That means that there's going to be a lot of different builds you can potentially use with these guns that are going to be viable. So Type 99 also got an ADS speed buff. The well gun got a 10% range nerf. Incendiary got nerfed really hard. So Incendiary used to do 9 damage. It would do 3 ticks of 3 damage to non-EOD players. Now it only does 6 damage. That's not a big change. But they also said that Incendiary now reduces your damage dealt by 10%, like the base bullet damage, rather than the incendiary damage. So we'll have to check that out. That's a huge nerf. That's going to make Incendiary probably not really the choice anymore. I think Hollow Point's going to be the choice now, pretty much for sure. But I need to check that out, because that reducing damage by 10% thing, that's pretty crazy. I'm surprised they nerfed it that hard. So another big thing they did in this patch, they nerfed lengthened. It used to do 30% bullet velocity. Now only does plus 10%. But I looked through the attachment changes, wrapped my head around it, and they didn't nerf bullet velocity. They actually buffed the bullet velocity pretty significantly for the Vanguard guns, because now suppressors help with bullet velocity and a bunch of the barrels help with bullet velocity. So overall, even though lengthened was nerfed by a significant amount, you're going to be able to probably get 20 to 25 to 30% faster bullet velocity on these guns than you could get before, because before we pretty much only had lengthened and maybe a magazine. Now we have barrels, muzzles, lengthened, and magazines to increase bullet velocity. So this is going to be really nice. This is going to make hit detection feel better because their bullets are going to be traveling faster. Overall, that's a positive change for the weapon balance, I think. Like I said, I'm not really going to go over the attachment changes in this video because there's so many. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of them and give them this form where it's like the new value in this patch, the old value prior to this patch, and then whether or not that change was good or bad for the attachment or for the stat. It'll be highlighted in red or green. Red is obviously bad, green is good. So I'm going to upload this to TrueTechData at some point, hopefully today. If I'm being honest, I stayed up all night, so I'm pretty tired. I was working on stuff all night, got a ton done. The big launch for the new premium features is probably going to be tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. We'll see if we can get it all done. Still quite a bit of stuff to do, unfortunately, but COD mobile data is coming very soon. Apex data is coming very soon. Amazing premium features coming very soon. And then another free features coming soon as well. I think in the next 2 months or so, PGD is going to become just so good. So good. I'm going to feel so good about it when we actually get there, but we're working super hard. It's just a lot of stuff to get through, but yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Just wanted to cover the patch notes, and I'll get this up as fast as I can so you guys can go see what the actual attachment changes mean in a meaningful way rather than the confusing wording they have on the patch notes. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here and you want to see more content about Call of Duty, be sure to subscribe. If you want to help support the channel, be sure to drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.